So I got a new question from Everyday Mobility Now, and you say, Ascendor, your videos help remind me of my essential being, plain, natural, and sensible. I work with people, clients in my business who trigger me because I have to listen to them as part of our time together. What is a reminder to allow their gibberish nonsense help roll off my back and not into my core? So when something's happening, and it doesn't matter if it's happening in your private life or in your, business, but when someone is saying something that is triggering you, then it might be possible that there is a subtle attempt to focus on the present moment. Like, oh, there's a trigger, now I gotta be very attentive and listen to the birds, how they are chirping. But that is an attempt to escape from the trigger. But attention, or let's say awareness, is pervading the trigger already, and the trigger is a part of what is. It is part of now. So if you really want to transcend the trigger, allow the trigger to be there. And it's not even that you have to do something to allow the trigger to be there. Just, if you can take a little, time when the clients are not around and you have 5 minutes for yourself, simply just relax and allow yourself to be triggered. And when you're no longer fighting it, you will see that there is a kind of space that is never really touched. When people are trying to get out of their minds, usually when people are focusing on the breath or focusing on sounds in the environment, focusing on the now, on objects, what is actually here, it allows them to recognize that there is an awareness that is still there, even though thoughts are not there. So this practice is just for you to recognize that you are not your thoughts, that you are awareness. But once you know that you're awareness, you can go back and allow your thoughts to be there. And it's the same for triggers and feelings and emotions. Once you know that you are awareness, go back and let go of the effort. The effort of trying to be present. The effort of trying to use a method or a technique to get rid of a trigger or a thought or something that is making you upset. And simply let go of all spiritual effort. Stop trying to be a spiritual person and just be triggered. Just allow the trigger to be there. And as you're watching this video right now, you can just investigate what's here actually. Even if you're not triggered, if there is no sense of fear or stress, just be very sensitive and just what's actually here. Not just outside of you, but also inside. And be very honest with yourself. Isn't there a kind of stress? Isn't there a kind of pressure that you have been avoiding all day with your spiritual techniques? Trying to be a spiritual person so you don't have to suffer from that pressure on your chest. But be very honest with yourself and be aware of what's actually your experience, and just allow it to be there without resistance, and also without a goal in mind that says I want to get rid of it by allowing it. It's just become one with what's already here. And when you're doing it, when you're triggered because you don't want to listen, you did not want to listen to their gibberish, you don't want it to touch your core, you're scared. What I can see now is that you are scared that this nonsense that people are talking about is touching your core. Maybe they're complaining a lot. Maybe you're kind of a therapist. then you're scared that it becomes your problem. But when you're really allowing it to touch your core, then that's true strength. Because your clients will also notice that you are more present. You're actually taking them serious. You're really listening. You are in the same boat with them. But at the same time, because you're allowing it, you're no longer resisting it or trying to defend yourself or trying to, regulate your inner being. If you're no longer trying to harmonize with what's going on with your own power and you're just allowing it to be as it is, what's happening is that you will notice that it's actually not touching you. It's not touching you. And I don't want you to listen to this and say yes or no or agree or disagree or have an argument or something like that. I want you to go in your direct experience and let go of any tension in your mind. And just be as you are. And when you're letting go, when you're no longer trying to be a spiritual person, you're just allowing whatever it is to be, then what can happen is that you will notice, or it can happen that you'll notice that there's actually a kind of sadness there that you have been suppressing, or anger, or frustration, or stress. Because you're honest. You become honest with yourself. But that's a good thing. Just because it doesn't feel comfortable doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. Hiding from the triggers and frustration and sadness and anger is the suffering. But when it's there and you're allowing it to be there, and you're honest with yourself and you're saying, I'm actually frustrated and I don't know what to do about it, then actually you recognize that you don't have to do anything about it. You don't have to know what's next. Just be with it and see what happens. And all of a sudden it will disappear. Maybe not. But at least you're no longer trapped in that endless attempt to find a kind of practice that will get you out of this situation. Spiritual teachers will tell you that you can practice being aware of what's here, so you're no longer trapped in your mind. But that's not a practice that you have to do every day, until you're finally enlightened and nothing touches you anymore. That's not why you're practicing this. The reason why you're practicing this is just to become aware that you are not your thoughts. Because when you're very identified, let's say you're very identified, and now I'm going to tell you that just allow your thoughts to be there. Then what will happen is that you keep being identified. But when you're identified, and I tell you just be aware of the sound of the birds chirping. Now who are you now? Then you will recognize that, wait a minute, I'm not a thought. I'm not the one who says, there's attention there, pure attention. That's who I am, essentially. Now when you know that you are pure awareness, then you can allow these thoughts to come back, because now you know that they're not saying anything about you. So you can just relax and allow them to touch your core. Because they only have power if you're trying to resist. You're trying to hide from them. You want to protect your core. Do not protect your core. Your core is really unbreakable. Nothing can happen to you. So if you want some kind of practice, just do this. Just right now, as you're watching this video, you obviously have the time to watch a video now, otherwise you wouldn't be here. So you could also use this time to simply be as you are with all the thoughts with all the feelings, with the frustration, with the anxiety, and allow it to touch your core. And it does not require any spiritual act. You don't have to do anything. It already is. And so it will slow down, and you will be more present automatically and even more authentic. And then you will slow down and be as you are. Now I think that's all that I can say about this. And that was the video. And if you liked this video, give it a like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And have a great day.